Hello and welcome back to Let's Sip channel. Please do subscribe if you are not. Let's listen to this video of a slave queen that went to Dubai.
I felt like I wanted to scream. I didn't care. After all, this was just sexual intercourse. I have been doing this in Africa. What's so special? I had done this with guys who were broke. Now I was going to be paid a lot of money for this. My driver came to pick me up again at 10 p.m. and I was driven in this Rolls Royce and I felt so special. I felt like a princess. We arrived at the house. The house was by the ocean. So in Dubai, they filled the ocean with sand and they built houses on top, and it's only the rich man who owns those houses. As we entered into that house, I immediately knew that this was a billionaire's house. We went into a private yacht and started sailing in the ocean. Let me say that everything that I was feeling when I was inside that Rolls Royce, that feeling that I am a princess, I am being treated like a princess. As I entered into that man's house, I was told that I was nothing and I had no right to question anyone or anything. I had the right to remain silent until they had released me. There were 4 men all in all, and I didn't know that they were going to use me that night. I have been a prostitute for the rest of my life and I wasn't scared of these 4 men, but I had no idea of what they had planned for me. They used me as their sexual object and they penetrated all the holes on my body. They tied me like as if I was a puppy. They made sure that I followed them and I crawled on all fours. All those men played with me and I had the right to keep silent. I had to pretend as if I was enjoying everything that they were doing to me. I had no passport and I had eaten their money. I had bought all of those luxuries, so maybe I deserved it. They made me to have intercourse with this dog, and this dog, it is like it has been trained to have intercourse with human beings, because the moment that the dog saw those men stripping me, then I could see that it was also getting ready to have intercourse with me. They placed a lot of things on my body. They also made me to eat their private parts. They choked me till I vomited and still made me to eat my own vomit. They took turns to poo on my body. They made me to eat the poo cake. I cried throughout. I even hated myself for agreeing. Remember, I had signed that form, so who was I going to report this? After all, I didn't even have a passport since Ashraf had taken it. That night, I prayed in my heart and I told myself that this was my lesson. Prostitution was no longer good for me. I had to stop. This was like my turning point, and whatever was going to happen from now on was just slavery. I had made a covenant with myself to never do this again. All of this fantasy of me being an African princess, it had disappeared. I was such a fool, dear brother Nashi, because on that day during the afternoon, I had actually prepared for this billionaire. I had actually bought myself a nice lingerie thinking that I was going to impress him. But one of those men told me that they had done this more than 1,000 times and I was just another piece of flesh. I was worth nothing. After they were done with me, I was still naked, but they made me to wear a life jacket. They called their bodyguards. Then they tied a rope around my waist, but the way that the rope is designed, it doesn't damage you. It is so comfortable. I didn't know what they wanted to do with me. Those bodyguards then went with me at the edge of the yacht. Then I was thrown into the water, the cold sea water. It was really freezing cold. This time it was around 4 a.m. This whole thing had started from 10 p.m. until the nightmare ended at 4 a.m. After they were done with me, that same driver came and picked me up and he drove me to the hotel room. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I gargled with water, brushed my feet, and the smell could not leave me. I cried like a baby as I was inside that bathroom. I didn't want to eat anything. I will never forget what happened to me. When I looked at all the material things that I had bought, they really broke my heart. Each and every day, it's like I can still hear their laughs as I was crying and begging for my life. To them, I was just an object. I regret ever signing for that deal. I had traded my body for money. I felt like I was not a human being again. I closed myself in that room for the whole week. I was defeated and I didn't know.
If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and also like the videos. Do comment in the comment section down below. Thank you.